Hey, Damien, did you miss this?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, it's probably the longest I haven't seen you since maybe like a year or something
Yeah,
like that.
maybe even longer.
So
I mean, you had a couple of appearances like September, October of 2022, but by November I got you. I got you with a couple of live streams, and then of course you came over to Germany in January. As you can probably guess, Damien, this year I'm not doing the same as last year regarding inviting people.
yeah, I
It's not like I've
figured.
invited everyone except for you.
It
um,
wasn't too successful in terms of the
I mean,
views, but it was
no,
fun for us.
exactly. Listen, there's nothing lost by it. I do
Yeah,
look at it like that. I hope that we got to know
well,
each other.
a bit of money for you.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest with you, it's not the primary reason for not doing it. I'll tell you off air more about it, but you may even have an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Jean, how are you? Jane, how are you? Nice to see some familiar faces, if you like, in the live chat. And I'm sure many people in the live chat have probably missed us because it's been about, I guess, not that long, probably 3.5 weeks since you did Medjanovic against Altafis.
Yeah, but there were the
Of
matches of the
course, I
year
know.
and live ones as well, right? The
Yeah,
top three was some of the top three was live. So
two on each side, one on each side.
oh,
I didn't.
only
Yeah,
two. Okay.
I think it was number 3 in each list. It was Sinner,
I
Djokovic,
think so. Yeah, I
yeah, and
definitely did one of them. Yeah.
yeah, Nick and Andre, who's just an occasional appear on the channel. He did the other one, Swiatek against Mukova. Anyway, that is the past. Because, of course, Happy New Year, I should say, Damien, because it's 2024 in the tennis world.
Yeah, we are about to start. Oh wow,
Look at
that's new.
that, Damien. You
That's
see?
new.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
in
it.
7 hours we're gonna kick off the new tennis season, sort of. Yeah.
Right. And of course, much like the new year, in many ways, it does kind of kick off in Australia. No offense to some of those islands in the South Pacific. But yeah, make sure you hit the like button, by the way. And of course, if you are new to the channel, click subscribe. But looking at the live chat, probably everybody here is a familiar face. We are here to talk about the United Cup, Damien. And we were just saying before we went on air, there's a couple of changes compared to last year.
Yeah, I mean, some of the format was ridiculous last year, honestly. Especially the fact that when you had the host city finals between what was it, Brisbane, I think, Sydney and Perth, and then you have three nations who progress into the semis, and one of them is, the fourth one basically is from a ranking of the runners-up, and it led to some very weird things because I think Croatia maybe missed out, or maybe France, was it? I mean, basically because they placed some random players in mixed doubles earlier in the event. They run as by random players. I mean, not their strongest lineup because the tie was already settled. They actually didn't make it. So yeah, it was quite wild. I mean, this year we still sort of have this problem. We have three groups in Perth. We have three groups in Sydney, and as it seems, I actually didn't look at this before. It's going to be a ranking of second place teams from each city. So this is very arbitrary, and I don't really like it. Like I always thought that 16 nations would have been better than 24 or 18 actually in this case. But
Yeah.
well, who cares? And there's also going to be it's basically two separate events. One with the Perth nations, one with the Sydney nations, until they meet in the final. I guess this is a little cleaner than last year, but yeah, not a fan of this second place teams thing as usual. And also we have this huge change actually that we only have three rubbers in the tie, which basically means that the number two players who were so pivotal last year, like United States obviously won it last year, and they had a team of like only top 20 players, literally. Was it like Tiafoe, Fritz, Pegula, and someone, right? And basically this year it doesn't really matter. Like you only need to have one strong player in each gender. And yeah, the number two players will probably not play or might feature in some match in dead rubbers. I don't personally like that because for me, part of the ATP Cup, United Cup magic was always seeing, let's say, Viktor Durasovic. He was at every edition. I think I don't know if Norway's even in. I think it is, right? Yeah, Norway is in, and of course he's not playing because, well, why would he if he's not gonna actually have a chance? But like, yeah, a lot of these guys, like I don't know, Bakshi from Georgia and who played for like Uruguay. Maybe it was Giannis. No, it was the other guy. Can't remember. But anyway, Alexandre Metrevelli for Georgia as well. Like these sort of players, that was part of the magic for me. The fact that they actually got the chance to play on the big stage, against some very high quality players last year. In from a Polish perspective, Daniel Michalski and Kacper Żuk got a lot of nice opportunities there. But of course, this year it's a little different. For the event, it's probably better. Like, no one wanted to watch Zhibek Kulambayeva. No disrespect to her, of course, but like, I don't think these matches were particularly exciting for the public. So it's probably better for the event.
I mean, even this this little thing I've got shared on the screen right now, I'm still just trying to work out who's who and where's where. So we've got sort of an event going on. It's a bit like before, of course, with Australia being so spread out, they kind of have a Sydney event, if you like, and a Perth event, it seems. But you'll have in Perth, it looks like there are 3 groups. And in Sydney, there are also
3 groups.
Yeah.
Okay, they all go to Sydney by the semi-finals.
Okay, fine. But this year, what was the city last year? Was it Brisbane that they used? Then
Brisbane,
okay.
Brisbane.
Obviously got its 250 back on the ATP side and the 500 on the women's. That is back on the schedule after 4 or 5 years. So I guess with what you were saying as well, somebody like Greece might be quite happy with that scenario with the 2 strong players, and then
that's a good example, because last year they had Stefanos Sakellaridis, who actually got some wins, like he beat Zizou Bergs, but before that we used to be Mikhail Pervolarakis or Aristotelis Fanos, and the Greece is a very good example, of course. Poland as well, actually. Despite having Magdalinet, who was very strong last year in the United Cup, the number 2 singles in Poland on the men's side is, of course, really tough. But now we have like the best team there. So,
yeah, probably. So, I mean, if we took the 2 best players for the USA, because I don't think Coco Gauff is playing, am I right?
Honestly, I haven't really looked at that.
I saw her in the press conference. And
it's Pegula. Yeah, Fritz Pegula.
Fritz Pegula. So we've got Fritz Pegula, which is pretty strong. Serbia, who's the Serbian woman who will be representing, who's number 1 there?
Olga Danilovic. That's actually, she could pull off some big upsets. Definitely a player with untapped potential, but of course, it is a weak spot of the Serbian team. Like if we get, I don't know, who is Serbia even in groups with? I haven't checked that, but Serbia is in group E. Oh, so Danilovic is supposed to play Kim Wen-Zheng and Marketa Vondroushova. So obviously she's a pretty big underdog in both. I want to see these matches. Like, I don't think she'll be inadequate. I think she'll be pretty competitive. I wonder if she can pull off an upset, but certainly that's the weak spot of the Serbian team.
So in Group A, we've got Spain, Brazil, Poland, which actually feels quite strong to me in some ways. I mean, Brazil, obviously, Sejbovic and Hadab Maya. Spain, is Badosa in the team? I have no idea. By the way, Coco Gauff is playing Auckland.
Sorribes Tormo and Davidovich Fokina. I mean, this group looks pretty easy for Poland, right? Like, if we don't make it out of groups, it's a fail already. But, I mean, it is. Świątek is playing Haddad Maya and Sorribes Tormo, and Hurkacz against Seibofield. I guess even if Hurkacz loses to Davidovich Fokina, you still have Świątek, Sorribes Tormo, and then the mixed, where we also should be stronger. Like, this group seems pretty lopsided to me.
I saw a funny tweet which was along the lines of Sorribes Tormo against Haddad Maya will be happening in the middle of the night. But don't worry, because wherever you are in the world, when you wake up, they'll still be playing.
Yeah, I also saw another tweet like this, which basically said that this is the first match of the WTA season. If you have 4 hours to spare, watch it.
Yeah, good. And Jean as well mentioning the number 1 female player from Serbia. So, but of course, there is a chance to still qualify if you don't top the group by being the best runner-up in your season. So, Spain and Brazil might be fighting for that spot. Who knows? Czech Republic, I guess. They will be quite strong. Vondrousova, she's there, I think, along with Lehecka, right?
Yeah, but this is a tough group. Like, you have Djokovic, who obviously is going to beat everyone and get it to mixed doubles. And at the same time, you've got China. And that's a team I'm excited for. I mean, I don't know if they can get out of this because, well, this is such a stacked group: China, Czech Republic, Serbia. But yeah, I mean, Zhizhen Zhang, Qin Wen Zheng.
Yeah. And Zhizhu Zhang, do you think he could cause Djokovic a problem?
Probably not Djokovic, but he might be the favorite over the Hečka right now. I think it's pretty close. Well, yeah, I actually pulled up the odds for all the groups, and Serbia is actually still favored, but barely over the Czech Republic. China, of course, as the outsider there. But yeah, that's pretty interesting that Serbia is still favored. I guess that's just how much they trust Djokovic in the mixed.
Group C will have the USA, Great Britain, and Australia in a nice little English-speaking colonial power sort of lineage there. Anyway, yeah. So of course I saw a press conference with Demon Noor and Katie Bolt, of course, laughing and joking about their relationship, obviously both on and off the court. But of course, I guess it'll all be fairly professional when it comes to it. I actually almost thought it was a kind of an obvious clickbait question, but it was also a bit of a silly one to ask if they'll be trying or words to that effect or stay professional. But in a way, I don't think it'll be that difficult. Once you're playing tennis, you're playing tennis, right?
They're also unlikely to play against each other. Like their countries are going to play against each other, right? But will they actually meet on the court? I highly doubt it, because there's no way the minor plays mixed. Like they have Matthew Ebden and Stone Hunter. So right. Yeah, I mean, if they have two top 10 doubles players, I don't think he's playing. Katie Boulter might, because who actually is the other Great Britain women? Yeah, Francesca Jones and Maya Lumsden might play instead of her. Who knows? But yeah, I don't think they actually face each other, so that kind of takes it out of the equation. But if they were like on the court against each other, that would have been pretty fun. Yeah, and this group, I guess, is very favorable for the States as well, right? I mean, you can't go wrong with two top 10 singles players, really.
As far as I know, Ghosty, Norrie is playing, yeah.
Yeah, Norrie is playing, yeah.
He's playing, I think he's even playing tonight against
Alex de Minaur, yeah.
De Minaur, yeah.
And there's gonna be that Cameron Norrie Taylor Fritz rivalry again.
Okay, good to know that they'll be playing again. Cam Norrie's actually done okay with that rival. It's like 6 and 6, is it 7-7?
I think it is 6-0. I think it is 6-0.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess best runner-up though leaves things open, but Serbia, as we mentioned, slight favourites thanks to a 24-time Grand Slam winner. USA, I guess, are fairly warm favourites in that group with GB and Australia.
Less than Poland in Group A, but still pretty heavily favoured, and you can see why. Australia has that issue, I guess, with Tomljanovic just returning to form, but they do have really strong mixed. So maybe if they can get it to mixed, that would be exciting. I mean, Fritz can lose to de Minaur, right? Pegula losing to Tomljanovic, I guess, is the one that people are like sort of sure that the United States will get a point there. Great Britain seems like the outsider to me. I mean, Boulter playing against Pegula. I don't think she's gonna get there, and well, I guess Cam Norrie could still do wonders for the nation.
I mean, a year ago, Cam Norrie, de Minaur, you might well have gone for Cam Norrie. But
it's funny that you said that, because they played a year ago at the United Cup, and Cam Norrie won it. Yeah. But right now I would go Alex. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And he'd just beaten Rafa, or maybe just before he beat Rafa. In fact, I think they both beat Rafa. Rafa was just losing to everyone a year ago. But yes, I do vaguely remember that. But anyway, so yeah, of course, Tomljanovic is back. She's actually had a bit of good off-season form. While most people were up resting, she was playing in Latin America in a tournament or two that I actually posited that she wouldn't be playing, but she did end up going to Latin America and picked up a bit of good form out there. And again, a year ago, she was somebody sort of to be reckoned with. Oh, hello, Nerland's back. Yeah, so she was somebody that was sort of threatening to do big things in 2024, but unfortunately basically spent the whole year injured. So it'll be interesting to see if she can sort of pick up where she left off in Latin America, because when I saw her in the Billie Jean King Cup, she was way off it by her own admission. Okay, let's go over to Sydney, where we have the Netherlands, Norway, Italy, and many others. In Group D, we have Italy, Germany, and France in a sort of very much a European thing, which will be, I'm sure, keep Ghosty tuned in for the all-European affair there. Group B, we've got a bit more of a intercontinental thing going on with Canada and Chile and Greece, our friends that we mentioned before. And then in Group F, Croatia, the Netherlands, and Norway. Norway being big outsiders, I guess, Damien.
Yeah, so in Group F, as you said, Norway is a big outsider, although actually not as big as one of the other countries that you mentioned, interestingly. But yeah, just looking at it, as I said, I wasn't glad. I didn't really take a look at anything earlier. But yeah, I mean, Vekic Choric, that seems really good. It's just the fact that Choric is coming back right after an injury, so we don't know what he's going to play. And I guess Grigspor Rus is, I mean, she's likely to beat the Norway number 2, right? But is she likely to beat Donna Vekic on a hard court? I don't think so. But yeah, Norway is just one of these teams who have one player literally, and we know that Kasper Ruud is going to be playing in the mixed as well. But if he plays mixed with Ulrika Ikeri, like Ulrika Ikeri has beaten Krejcikova Siniakova, for example, in the past. Of course, not by herself. It was with a partner that I can't remember right now, and that's why I didn't say her name. But you know, it is possible. Like I'm a bit surprised Norway is that left out like this. But then again, you know, they basically start every match with like a 0-1. You mentioned I think it was Group D is the one that's pretty even between France and Germany. And again, Germany has Angelique Kerber coming back after a while, so who knows what sort of form she's going to be in. But France, a very solid duo as well with Manarino Garcia. I wonder, Zverev Kerber, you know, they could literally win the event, right? Zverev Kerber, but of course we don't know what Kerber is going to show. I wouldn't even count out Italy, like Paolini, Sonego, against these sort of players. It's not impossible.
So,
and actually,
Musetti's not playing.
No, it's Sonego Paolini.
Okay.
And then Chile is actually the huge outsider, which I guess comes from the fact that they only have Jari. I don't know. I mean, it's surprising to me that they're that sort of.
I mean, Greece now, of course, become big because of the format change we touched on. They will be pretty strong.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Yeah,
Canada.
I guess in terms of the WTA, Chile has Daniela Seguel as their best player, and she's currently at like 600 something.
Okay.
And there's also Fernanda Labrania, so that's not going to help. Yeah. So yeah, Chile basically has Jari.
Canada, Greece, you know, is Layla playing?
Let me see, because yes, she is, and she's playing with Felix. So that's actually pretty close, right? Exactly. I mean, Stefanos Tsitsipas, Maria Sakkari, Greece are the favorites in the group, and actually by a pretty significant amount.
Okay.
I'm surprised by that.
Me too,
but to me, it's kind of close. Of course, Felix hasn't had a good year, but he was better towards the end of it. Tsitsipas, not in his best by the time we finish this. Not at his best by the time we finish the season either. Sakkari, Fernandez, that's not like, if you look at the rankings, it's going to be a big distance, but it's actually not, right? So yeah, maybe Canada can actually surprise here. And of course, Canada has been insane in team-based competitions recently.
Yeah, and also this is Steph's time of the year. It's kind of where he tends to be strongest, certainly compared to sort of September, October time. So we'll see if that pans out. Again, obviously, a bit of home support. I know it's in Sydney rather than Melbourne. There's still plenty of Greeks there too. But I think, Felix and Layla seem to love the team thing. Of course, Canada, for about 2 weeks, were both the Davis Cup and Billie Jean King Cup holders. So team events is something where they do seem to excel. And I do think Layla sort of lifted herself at times during the Billie Jean King Cup and enjoyed that responsibility. And we do see some slightly different performances from players in team events as opposed to singles. For me, it's 60-40 between those two as to who tops the group. But I do understand why Chile is the big outsider.
Yeah, Chile basically has Jari and nothing. And it's almost well, it's definitely worse than Norway, right? Because Norway at least has a very good doubles player on the WTA side who might as well even play singles, honestly. But yeah, Chile would be a shock.
Yeah, by the way, I saw somebody talking about Mukova. I don't know if she's missing the Australian Open yet, but she's
She
on.
is.
Oh, is
She
she?
is. Yeah,
Okay.
it was announced today. I don't know how long ago, but I saw it on Twitter just before we started. Yeah, she is actually missing the Australian Open. So she has been out by now for like what, since the US Open, maybe?
Since that
I
match
think.
where the guy glued his feet to the ground. Yeah, she hasn't played since then.
Oh yeah, the semis, right? She made the
Yeah.
semis there, yeah, and hasn't
She was
played
on the
since.
roster for the WTA finals, but then she pulled out about a week
Yeah,
before.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
And also Nurlan was there with are we not going to discuss Iga's game-changing new serve motion? Well, we're gonna see if it's game-changing, and then we're gonna discuss it, right?
has she changed something in the last off season?
Yeah, sort of a little in the swing path. People were tagging me at that. I don't know. Just from the video, I don't think we can really tell anything. It seems like it would be just more compact. Like there's no actual change in the way she strikes the ball. It's just that the swing path is a little more compact, a little shorter. Yeah, we'll see. But of course, it's good that they're working on this particular aspect of her game.
Yeah, you think it is something that she does maybe need to step up, maybe on a hard court.
Oh yeah, especially of clay. Yeah, it has been destroyed by other players in the past. It's gotten better. I think it's gotten better. Like we've seen some tournaments, like maybe Beijing, Doha, Dubai last year, when it was actually pretty solid. I'm not saying it has to be her best shot. It probably never will be, but just to give herself an advantage with it. And yeah, it was a pretty obvious avenue with that team and her had to sort of go into in the off season. So it's good that they tried. We'll see what the effects of that attempt are.
We'll also see what the effects of Peraribo are with
Yeah.
Yuan Zheng as well. Little merry-go-round of coaches we've seen in the off season. So yeah, of course now I guess Brad Gilbert is alone with Coco Golf. Let's see if he can continue the magic there, although not in the United Cup, because I think somebody said that she's going to be playing Auckland. In fact, I think it was Jean. Hi Matthew, by the way, good to see you here. The Mukova thing didn't. Every single time she was pulling out. Yeah, I kept worrying. And I remember her having treatment in that match. She wasn't due to have treatment because of the whole one hour pause. She started to have treatment on some ab injury, I think it was, during the backstage period. But anyway, I digress. So back to the players anyway that are playing here at the United Cup. Group D, B, and F winners. I would probably go with Greece, but I think it is nip and tuck between them and Canada. I mean, who knows? One of those two might end up getting the best runner-up in a way. I kind of hope so. Croatia, are they the favourites in that group? As sort of given what you were
It's
saying.
pretty close. Croatia, Netherlands in the odds. I think it should be Croatia, maybe even by a bigger amount. Just because I don't trust Arantxa Rus really at the top level. I know she's reached like the top 40 and won a WTA title, but we all know throughout her career she was like won over 30 ITF titles, and generally speaking since then, and especially on hard courts. So I would say that even though Coric is coming back from an injury, Croatia is probably the more likely group winner.
Cilic is back.
Coric.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misheard
But
you.
Cilic will be back too, but I think he's back in like another event. I
Okay.
don't remember what
It's
that
a
event
year
is.
since he played because I remember him playing in India and then pulling
Well,
out.
but he also played in Umag in July, but that was one match.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. But then we haven't seen him since then.
Yep, and
So he's
Cilic is back in Hong Kong, not
Yeah.
at the United Cup. Coric is back at the United Cup. Cilic is back at the 250 Hong Kong. Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Watch this, Damon. Don't know if you saw that. A minute ago, I did this, and then there was a like. Oh well, I know. Don't worry about it.
I
Maybe,
didn't see that now, but
yeah. There's all sorts of wonderful things going on with my laptop as we approach the end of the year. Okay, and then of course we'll have the group F. Did I touch on that one? Oh, that was on with Croatia and Netherlands.
yeah.
Greece. Okay, Group D. Where's Group D? Italy, Germany. Yeah. Who was the male player? Did you say playing for France?
For France, it's Manarino and Garcia, and
Yeah.
for Germany, it's Zverev Kerber. Zverev Kerber played Hopman Cup together a few times, I remember.
Is
But of
Trevisan
course,
in the Italy team or
no, it's Paulini, but it's tough to say which one is stronger, right?
Yeah. So anyway, that'll be a close one. Yeah. I don't know. Can we just assume that Kerber's going to be okay immediately?
Yeah, but even if she's okay immediately, you still have her playing against Garcia, and like Zverev is playing against Manarino. These are 60-40 matches at best. So I don't know. This group seems very random to me. Italy is also like a pretty decent team. It's a shame they're in a group like this where it seems like they're the third link.
Yeah. Who's going to win the whole thing? The US, are they sort of favorites? What the bookmakers saying?
Let me see. I would guess Poland would be. Oh, actually, it's
Yeah.
the US by like marginally. US, Poland, then Greece, then Serbia at fourth, which is just so wild, right? When you consider that, they have Danilovic as the number two. I mean, she's great, but she's outside the top 100. Like she's actually really talented, but she's outside the top 100, so it's kind of wild. But yeah, it's the Djokovic factor. But yeah, Greece number three by a pretty large distance between US and Poland. And US Poland, it's like nip and tuck. But yeah, basically the US and Poland, they are definitely the main favorites. Of course, the US, if they feel that like if the tournament ended up being a best of 7 in an individual tie, the US would crush everyone. Best of 5 last year, they were like by far the best. I think they lost like 3 or 4 rubbers as a whole. And Poland can only really pull it off in a format like this. So that's why it's close.
Yeah. By the way, tonight, of course, we will have Sabov Vilch, and I still haven't quite figured out how to say the name properly, but maybe I'll learn it in the next couple of months. Up against Djokovic Swiatek. I actually think that that's a quite nice, random-ish match to start off the year. I mean, when you WhatsApp me that match, I didn't even know it's taken place. I was like, wow, have they ever played before?
Yes, actually. Oh, and it's a legendary match. It's 2020 Golden Swing, and I believe Sabovit saved like 3 or 4 match points, and there was huge controversy. They almost started fighting with each other. Yeah, there was an underarm serve on like match point or something like that. I think he saved maybe even 5
immediately before COVID kind of hit lockdown.
Yes, and that's immediately before Sabovit won that Santiago ATP title. So that was like the event before. That was in Rio. And it was a 3-hour match where he saves like 5 match points and wins. And then the week after he claimed his first ATP Tour title, of course, then it took him 2.5 years, let's say, of struggling after the pandemic to get back on track. Yeah, it's a pretty decent match. I'm excited for it, although like the last 2 months of the season were very poor from Sabovit. He just was sort of I mean, I don't know. He really dropped his intensity after winning these 2 challengers back to back on clay. Is that surface related? Sort of, like since the juniors, he hasn't really had any success of clay, but he won the US Open in the juniors. I think he should be a little bit better on hard courts than what he's doing right now, what he was doing at least at the end of the year. So I'm sort of banking on him making this competitive and actually showing he still has a hard court game, but we'll see. Like Djokovic Fokina can lose some random matches, right? So it's definitely not a given. There wasn't much of a choice as well, because you don't know that, but John asked me which match I wanted to do, and I was like, I mean, I guess there's just one. So Djokovic Fokina. And it's an exciting match. It wasn't just like, there's just one match, so I have to go with this one. I'm actually excited for it. But there is that danger that Djokovic Fokina is going to win this in straight fashion. Who knows? Then Soribes Tormo Haddad Maia, of course, as we said, 4 hours.
Regarding Djokovic Fokina, I just hope we can get, because of course he's one of the top ranked players on the tour that's still yet to win a title, along with Botic, of course. Both will be trying to get that monkey off the back.
Yeah, and Lennart Struff is probably higher ranked even, right?
Yeah, could be. Yeah, so those are the sort of 3 top ones that have yet to win a title. I think Djokovic Fokina might be the most likely to get there first.
Out of these 3, for sure.
Yeah, and what I want is him to be fit. If he can stay fit for 3 or 6 months, and when I say fit, I mean I just saw him during the North American swing, and yeah, he was playing matches and then suddenly losing. But I know he withdrew again or retired, sorry, against Djokovic, for example. And then at the US Open, I wasn't quite sure if he was fine, and I know he had some back trouble. By the way, Jane is asking, any news on PCB?
He underwent another surgery, right? In November, I think. So yeah, it's gonna be a while.
Okay.
He came back for a few matches, of course. What was it? Challenger where he beat someone. And no, he actually lost first round first, but then he lost to Perucci in the second round, I think. So he played a few matches and then had to undergo another surgery. So it will be a while.
Yeah, of course, there's a tournament happening in Brisbane with one or two well-known players happening there, but that's I think that kicks off on the 31st, so we'll probably keep our powder dry for that one. But yeah, Djokovic Swiatek, I just hope he can stay fit. I would love 2024 for all three of those to win a title somewhere now.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Davidovich Fokina played 60 matches last year,
Okay.
I know what you mean about the little.
Yeah, it was
issues.
I just didn't. He might have played a lot of matches, for example, from August onwards, but I don't think I saw him moving that well in certain matches. And I just thought that the injury he picked up against Djokovic looked like it was like one lingering. It was with the back, and I don't know if he was healthy in the US Open. But yeah, I mean, he's not somebody. Okay, he's not like a. It's not like a Rafa that we haven't seen for a year, or a Raonic, or a Cilic, or whatever. But I do think that if we had a good period, and maybe Estoril, maybe that's where it might happen for.
Honestly, though, of course, with him, it's not an issue of quality. It's just the fact that he doesn't play 4 matches at the same level, or 5 matches, right? I mean, he only has one final.
The 3 surfaces, he's got the 3 surfaces. In
which he can. It doesn't matter. Like the surface doesn't matter for him whatsoever. Yeah.
Which in a way is a good thing, but actually can be a handicap if you're really good on each surface, but you're not.
I guess indoors he's right. I mean, indoors he's kind of.
Yeah, indoor hard. Yeah.
I mean, it's just a little like he gets overwhelmed, and he's not that good when he gets overwhelmed. But yeah, like it doesn't really matter the surface now.
Well, probably mostly for our North American audience, make sure you tune in for Djokovic Fokina against Sejboć Vilch. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that, and also on a hard court with the Brazilian as well. I think it'll be interesting to see how he matches up. Has he ever sort of done anything in Australia?
ADF?
No,
Sejboć. I don't think he's played it ever.
Never played the Australian Open.
I mean, qualies, yeah, but like not even that. I mean, he's probably played it like once, right? Actually, he played 2022, 2021 Australian qualies. So yeah, 3 times the Australian Open qualies, never won a match. The thing is, like with him in 2020, he got to like 105, but then he had 2 horrible seasons. So he actually hasn't played that much. He actually only has, let me count it, like 50 matches in his career on hard courts or something like that, and that's a negative win rate as well. So yeah, basically since the juniors he hasn't done anything on hard courts. We'll see. I mean, last year he only played 2 matches outdoor hard and 6 indoors as well, and yeah, it was a 2-6 record. So
of course, I don't know if he's going to make the draw or not. Is he with 108 ranking, Liam Brody?
Where? Australia?
Liam Brody, yeah.
Yeah, he has to play qualies.
Does he?
I think. Let me see. Yeah, he's 12th on the alternate list. Actually, at the moment, it's still Dominic Thiem as the first alternate, and he's under 100. He's 98th on the list, and on the his entry ranking, let's say, on the list is 98, and he's still the first alternate. But someone will let Thiem in, I'm assuming. Then you also have like Vatanuki is second. Like it would be a shame if he missed it. But yeah, Brody is the 10th seed in qualies at the moment.
But I even would imagine that there'll be, if you were second alternate, I think you've got a very good chance of making it. I mean,
you'd hope so, but then again, the entry list was out on the 4th or 5th, and nothing has moved since. Of course, more will probably move like during these 2 weeks, right? Because some players will be injured, some players will realize, I can't play. But then again, if you're like Thiem or Vatanuki, I think this is maybe around the time where you start worrying. And Well,
I don't know.
they're both signed up for the qualies, so at
There'll
least
be
they're not.
somebody that's kind of
Yeah.
rushing back, trying to get to the Australian Open and just
Marin
maybe
Cilic, Rafa Nadal,
Cilic, Nadal, yeah. But Cilic especially, I think.
Nick Kyrgios. I don't know.
Kyrgios is, I think, is he not pulled out?
Oh, he's already pulled out. Okay.
I thought he pulled out. But
I guess you're right. So he has already pulled out. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go make some dinner, and we'll all be back, or Damien will be back anyway in about 7 hours. I think it is 6 hours. 6 hours. I think.
Yeah, 6 hours 20 minutes from here. You guys, of course, are invited. Everyone is invited. It will be an open public link.
Yeah,
to the,
will be welcome for sure.
Yeah, first ATP Tour match of the season. Thiago Seyboth beat Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. Hopefully, it's gonna be like under 2 hours. I want to get to bed by 5, but who knows?
I'll be tuning in anyway because I have to stay awake tonight. Okay, cool. Thanks everyone for joining us. A little mention of Højlund in the chat, which is great because, of course, he scored his first Premier League goal the other day, as Ghost is well aware. And
his first Premier League goal, really?
Yeah.
Hasn't he been there since the beginning of the season? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Yeah. What had covered it up, though, is he'd scored a few in the Champions League. So he didn't realise it was a kind of a quirky stat for about 6 weeks, I would guess. It didn't really make much difference. But then now it's like we're only playing Premier League matches. It kind of gains prominence. Anyway, that's football, or as some people like to call it, soccer. Back to the tennis. We'll see you all in a few hours. And everybody else, you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.